All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Friday, February 11th edition of the Fireside Friday show here on Fireside, also broadcasting out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Had a glitch there, signing in a little later than usual. At the top of the hour, I do have my interview with Charlie Belmore of Kings and Liars, Josta, Corpse Grinder, and Dee Snider's band as well. So a fun evening planned ahead. I see Jeremy. I see Brad. How are you guys doing? Throat is a little dry today, but anyway, welcome one and all. So Brad says, I'm working. Don't call me up. I will let you know if things mellow out here. Okay, fine. No problem. Oh, I guess that came up on Twitch. And that came up on YouTube. That's weird because it says restream. Anyway, I'll figure this out. So real quickly here, let's go over some of the new releases that came out today. It was touch and go today, busy day all around on my end of things. So there you go. Brad says poor excuse. So the self-titled Zeal and Ardor album came out today, their third album. I thought it was pretty cool, so I wrote up about it. A band that's been getting some considerable press these last few years. And it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting mix of things. So I enjoy it anyway. But, yeah, so I had my phone silent there, but apparently not. Let's see. What else? We have new releases from Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. We also have, let's see, new album by, screen froze here for a second. As what happens when you're running late. Anyway, all right, new album by Eddie Vedder. Once Human had Logan Mader on the show years ago. Amorphous, Voivod. Now that I think of it, I could actually. Nothing like things not popping up when they're supposed to. Let's go to the L's. As usual, we have Murphy.
Hey, Logan Mader here from Once Human. You're listening to My Heart Attacks.
There you go. Logan Mader from years ago. Probably best known for his time in Machine Head. Also in Soulfly. Anyway, back to the list here. Amorphous, Voivod, Jizzy Pearl's Love Hate, Garish and the Chronicles, Cult of Luna, Hangman's Choir, Wait, We Are in Transit, City of Lights, the Devils, plural, of Luden, Rust and Rage, The Greed, Lionville, Mecca, Night Cobra, 10, Zadra, EPs from Napalm Death, Fendrick, Satiray, the Rumjacks, some good old pirate metal. I know you guys are big fans of that stuff. Let's see, Naked Gypsy Queens and Mariangela de Mortis. Okay. Reissues, 2 albums by Prong, Refuse, The Prereckless, Static X, Trouble, Architects, Ed Guy, My Dying Bride, and Hexen, and a new live album from the Alan Parsons Project, live in Tel Aviv. So those are today's new releases. let's hit up Blabbermouth real quick here, see what some of the new headlines are here. We have Rush Moving Pictures 40th anniversary reissue right on time for next week's Rush special. We have a new Scorpion single, which I really like, actually. I think it's probably the best thing that they've released. It's called Seventh Son. Today was born. Oh, that's Iron Maiden, Seventh Son, Seventh Son. Brian Wheaton, Tommy Skio of Tesla Reconnect on the Monsters of Rock cruise, where Metal Dan, who is one of my loyal followers, is there. Said he was going to be sporting the Mars Attacks t-shirt. Should be cool. David Draymond of Disturbed blasts Trevor Noah of The Daily Show. Stephen Piercy mourns the loss of his brother.
Hi, this is Stephen Piercy from Rat. We're going to smash on Mars Attack.
There you go. And Ted Nugent had a transgender atrocity rant. So let's see. Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators guest on Sirius XM's Trump Nation Virtual Invasion. So they're on, I guess, the Monsters of Rock cruise as well. Metallica releases pro shot video of Dirty Window performance from second 40th anniversary concert. Evanescence Within Temptations Worlds Collide European Tour postponed once again. Foreigner Mick Jones on Ian McDonald. He was a musician of great substance and versatility. Ian just passed away at 75 years old. He was part of Foreigner and part of King Crimson, actually. Jeremy, was Foreigner a big band in England? I forget if we asked you this. Skunk Anansi releases animated video for new single Piggy. I thought they released a video for that already. Maybe it's another single. Ex-Megadeth guitarist Chris Poland on David Ellefson's sex video scandal. I thought he handled it really well, okay, because Blabbermouth isn't going for the clickbait there. Creator behind the scenes footage from making of Hate Uber Alice video. It is typical Creator, but it's great. It's cool. Sabaton pays tribute to the Unkillable Soldier with new single. REO Speedwagon and Styx add 10 shows to co-headline U.S. Summer live and on Zoom tour with Loverboy. I think those were three bands we established that were not big in Sweden. Cannibal Corpse's Corpse Grinder disagrees with Chris Barnes about state of death metal. The scene couldn't be better. Violent shares title track of upcoming EP, Let the World Burn. Sting. Love Sting, love the Police. I'm not sure what this is, why this is on Blabbermouth, but Sting sells songwriting catalog for an estimated $30 million. Watch pro shot video of Glenn Tipton performing Breaking the Law with Judas Priest at 2021 Bloodstock Open Air. Let's see. Aerosmith's 1971, The Road Starts Here, to be made available on CD and digital in April. That's a vinyl-only release up to this point. Oh, and cassette. Okay. Voivod releases music video for new single Sleeves Off. Napalm Death releases visualizer video for Resentment Is Always Seismic, Dark Sky Burial Dirge. Scorpions share new single Seventh Son. Watch 4-hour event celebrating the life of late Metallica bassist Cliff Burton on what would have been his 60th birthday. I tried to order the Super 7 action figure. It was sold out. Well, when I tried to get it, it wasn't sold out. It was like $50 to ship to Europe. And then today I was told by Steve Hoker that it's completely sold out. So Corey Taylor announces CMFB Sides, collection of covers and acoustic recordings on the Dark Side lyric video available. I hate that song. Okay? I absolutely hate that song. That was played to death on classic rock radio. And that was at the time when I was saying, why aren't they playing Kiss? Why aren't they playing Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motley Crue? Got to hear John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Hey, no disrespect to anyone that loves that stuff, but yeah. Yeah, Brad is saying he saw what they did there. Yes, correct. All right, somebody on Facebook. Let's see. So I'm not seeing. I'm just saying that somebody's saying the price on that moving pictures reissue is ridiculous. $40 US for one LP with 7 songs. Well, I believe it's a 500-gram vinyl, and then inside there's about 3,000 pictures that you've never seen that the band originally threw away. So that's why you're paying $40 for it. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I didn't read what's entailed, but there are some bands that do that kind of stuff, and it drives me crazy. Anyway. Ian McDonald, again, founding member of Foreigner and King Crimson, dies at 75. Def Leppard's Rick Allen is confident the stadium tour will happen this summer. There's no reason why we can't go forward. Hold on. How about because COVID? Maybe that will keep the stadium tour from happening. Maybe not, but we'll see. Watch Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson sing a cappella versions of iconic English hymn Jerusalem in Washington, D.C. It's not the Black Sabbath song Jerusalem. Wolfgang Van Halen says he picks his battles when it comes to dealing with online detractors. All right. Come on. Oh, damn. You are cold. You are very cold, Mr. Doll. Oh, my goodness. Brad Dahl's comment. Did Rick offer Dave a hand? Okay. Dave covered Rick. Watch trailer for Sweaty Vetter's intimate conversation with Bruce Springsteen. Yes, frontman John Anderson announces spring 2022 tour dates with Paul Green Rock Academy. Disturbed's David Draymond. Streaming services like Spotify saved music. We had Todd Severn from Ripple Music on explaining the plus side of the streaming services. Let's see. Okay. Now just trying to see who was chiming in on Facebook. Of course, this doesn't tell me. You would think it would work that way, but one day all this will work all great. Morbid Angel pulls out of Maryland Death Metal Fest. Says it will not play any shows in current climate. Okay, so it's Bill Elam. Thank you, Bill. Bill's always great at helping promote and share the podcast episodes. Cool to see you here. He's saying new phone. The MP Super Deluxe is the better deal at $300. It comes with 5 LPs. Okay. I will not dispute that. Korn's Brian Head Welsh says Fieldy is still taking time to be with his family. Yes, released his music video for A Living Island. Notice that we had a John Anderson story above that. They seem to always try to counterbalance one another. One does one thing, they do something else. Killing Joke announces Lord of Chaos EP. With the original lineup, I got to check that out. I absolutely love Killing Joke. 10 years to release collection of alternate takes on band's most popular songs. High on Fire's Matt Pike drops music video for Land featuring Mastodon's Brent Hinds, the first video from his solo project, kind of had my patrons split. Some people really loved it. Some people didn't get it. Definitely interesting. The Gathering released new single, We Rise. Phil Demmel says he is Lamb of God's bullpen guitarist when Willie Adler or Mark Morton can't make the shows. That's a good paying gig. Avenged Sevenfold's new album is 90% done after 78-piece orchestra records its parts. Wow. Like The Elder? Duff McKagan joined Slash on stage in Seattle to perform Guns N' Roses classic. They do Night Train. Kiss Dynasty collectible figures from Knucklebones coming this spring summer. I saw that and I said, all 4 members? Gotta be $500. And I looked at it, 530 something, if I'm not mistaken. It's 100. It's almost like $200 per. So I guess it's slightly less than what it would have been if you buy them individually. I mean, these figures are great. They're awesome collectibles and whatnot. Man, they are expensive, but they are solid statues. I mean, they're definitely not plastic. Leave it at that. And we'll close the news section here with Zakk Wylde open to producing next line of Dimebag guitars through his Wild Audio company. That's awesome. I know that there's been so much talk about him playing with Pantera, and there have been people saying yes, people saying no. I mean, Zakk has had to fill immortal shoes of Randy Rhoads, Tony Iommi playing with Ozzy's band. And I mean, this is cool because obviously he's a friend of the family. He kind of stayed neutral in the whole thing. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I know that Dime drew up a lot of different things before he passed away, before he was assassinated. So I would be interested to see what would happen. There's a whole thing that happened between Rita, who was Dime's longtime girlfriend, and she's the trustee of the estate. She had a falling out with Dean. A lot of artists have had, we had Dave Mustaine move over to Gibson. A lot of different high-profile artists that they kind of helped resurrect the Dean name around the turn of the century. Sounds like eons ago. Like 22 years ago. Or gone. I mean, sure, you could say that's a very long time because a lot of these artists jump from one manufacturer to another. Let's be honest, people are looking for the best deal possible. It only makes sense. I don't know of any musician, I've said this a lot of times, when bands use the names of a band that they established, a brand that they've had, and they've worked it up for a long time. I've never seen a musician say, "Yeah, I'm not going to use the Stone Temple Pilots name or Alice in Chains name because it's going to make me a lot more money than my name. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to either use my name or I'm going to flip burgers." I don't know of any musician that doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to be a musician for a living and make money off it. So anyway, Mr. Weltman, are you ready? All right. Jeremy, how are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you kind of muffled.
Okay, I think that might be because I've got my earphones in. I don't know how to turn them off. Hold on a sec. Let me try.
Okay, no problem.
Now, give me a few minutes. Can you hear me, Phil?
You still there? Hello? That's gone dead silent. Jeremy is now giving me the silent treatment.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir.
Sorry about that. That was
No problem.
me. That was me putting in earphones before, thinking I'd be clever, and then when you put the earphones in, it sounds muffled.
All right, we are.
Yeah, I guess maybe it. I don't know. Maybe it has to be adjusted somehow. I mean, this platform unfortunately is really buggy, so I guess we kind of go with what we can. But anyway, you've always got some interesting topics and questions to ask. So tell me, sir, what is on your mind tonight?
Yeah, well, the first thing is I just had a listen to that Scorpions track because I just saw your message to me about it, and I was
Right.
pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed, like you. I thought it was great, and I thought that they've released 3 songs now, and they're all a little bit different, but they sort of hark back to the old era, but they're quite modern sounding as well. And I'm quite excited for the album because I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, this track reminds me of the Zoo just because the tempo is very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
But nothing wrong with that. I mean, it sounded very good to me.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. I'm also quite looking forward to the Slash album because I've read some reports about it that's a little bit more band orientated rather than just focusing on the two of them. I know you're not a massive fan of Miles Kennedy singing,
right?
But I always like to give the Slash ones a listen because I think he adds a lot himself to these albums, and you always find a few tracks on there that you really like. Well, I do anyway, and so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, I was reading that apparently the album was recorded live in the studio. It's the first time that they've gotten together and jammed things out again. It seems to be the common theme due to the pandemic. I mean, the silver lining with a lot of these bands is that they've gotten to spend time recording. I know Guns N' Roses has been out touring and all, but I'm guessing that given that they have been able to record, I mean, let's be honest, before GNR was back out on the road, this was Slash's main gig.
Yeah.
So it seems as if they've been able to squeeze in enough time to get, a good album out there. I'll check it out. I mean, here's the thing. Every time Slash puts something out, I always check it out. And I always end up finding maybe 1 or 2 songs that I like off of the album. That said, the second Snake Pit album, Ain't Life Grand, to me is the best thing that he's done outside of Guns N' Roses. That, to me, has a ton of really strong material on it. The second Velvet Revolver album I really like a lot. I know a lot of people didn't like that album as much because to me the first one was just like, okay, we're former members of Guns N' Roses, so we're going to do a paint by numbers Guns N' Roses sounding album. Whereas the second album, they took a lot more chances. There's a lot of cool stuff on there that I think people didn't check out just because it doesn't have something that's identifiable like Fall to Pieces, which is their like Sweet Child of Mine, or their Slither, which is their like I don't know what you could compare that to. I mean, obviously not Welcome to the Jungle, but I don't know. That's their It's Not Easy or whatever,
Yeah.
So.
I like that album as well that he did with all the different singers. That was his first solo album, I think, wasn't it? Of the 3, and he had Miles on maybe 1 or 2 tracks on there, but it was. It had Lemmy on, and I think Ian Astbury was on. Was he on Ghost? I think the first track. And I thought that was a really good mix, that album. I haven't played it for a while, but it's really good.
Yeah, that I remember playing. There's a instrumental, which is Slash, Duff McKagan, and Dave Grohl. And I played it for the first time for John Astronomy and Mark Striegel and Joey Z from Life of Agony. I was in the States. I think it was. Now this was after my honeymoon, so it was 12 years ago. March will be 12 years ago that I did that. So that's when that album came out. That first Slash solo album came out 12 years ago.
Right.
I remember playing it and everyone being like, "Wow, this sounds great! I can't wait to hear the entire thing." And that album has some cool things on there. Fergie was another singer on there.
Yeah.
M Shadow's Avenged Sevenfold. It was interesting because he did a song, and on the Australian edition, you had the same song, but it was Nick Oliveri from Queens of the Stone Age, Caius, and Mondo Generator fame, did the same song but with different lyrics. So on the Australian copy of that album, that's a bonus track. It's the same exact song. Instrumentally, it's the same, but it's different lyrics and different singer.
Yeah.
So, kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you just switching subjects. You actually asked a question before, and I didn't answer it. It was about Foreigner, and Foreigner were or are really big in the UK. That Foreigner 4 album was, really hit it big here, and all the singles off it were all in the top 10 from what I remember. Yeah, massive. I saw them actually live about 4 or 5 years ago, and
oh wow.
Mick Jones actually comes on after about 5 or 6 songs now. He doesn't come on at the start, and everybody's sort of thinking he's not coming on at all unless you know. But it's a known thing that he comes on late and then just plays some of the hits, and he gets tired, I think, so he just does an hour. They were actually really good live. Plus, the fact is that it was sold out, and there wasn't really much of a support act. I think it was John Parr playing acoustic. Which is a bit of an attraction to some people because I think they liked him from way back in the day. But it wasn't one of those sort of big shows. I am actually going to see them again in May. They're actually on with Whitesnake in Europe, which I think I mentioned before. So yeah, that's going to be quite a decent gig. But actually, here recently, Aerosmith have cancelled. So it looks like now they're not going to play ever again in the UK, by the sounds of it.
Oh wow! So they're not even going to make the date up. It's just they're done.
No, I got the money back 2 weeks after they announced it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they refunded the whole money, and there's just no plans really to do it. I mean, I think they were talking to one of the band members. I'm not sure whether it's Brad Whitford, and whoever was saying that he didn't think that they were actually fit enough to play.
Huh. Yeah, and that's the thing too, because they all have outside investments. Brad Whitford moved to Nashville because he owns a NASCAR team. So, does he need to be out on the road with Aerosmith?
Yeah.
Steven Tyler is appearing on, all these different TV shows in the U.S. He's duetting with people. It's you could tell with that last Aerosmith album. Aerosmith was not his priority. It was just another one of the things that he does. And I remember when they released the singles for that Aerosmith album, I was like, wow, this is going to be so good. This is, what we've been missing.
Mm.
And then you got to hear the album and you clearly heard the Steven Tyler songs and the rest of the band songs. And it was like, this is like grating my ears, and this other half is like really cool. So I don't know. I actually was making this huge playlist and added some Aerosmith to it, and the title track to Get a Grip came on the other day. I know it's not one of their biggest songs, but it's a song that I've always liked.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I realized this was like kind of their second breath, but they went so off, the rails with the success of some of their ballads that it just changed the band. I mean, for everyone saying that, oh, that's not the same as the '70s. Well, they had ballads in the '70s, and when there was their resurgence, there were other good things that were there, but the radio hits were so big that it's almost they're trying to chase that high all the time, and it just never works. It's not organic. It just fans don't want that. I don't think. I think the diehards want what got them into the band, and I get it. There are people that what it takes, and the song from Armageddon. I don't remember. Don't Want to Miss a Thing. That's stuff like that is what turned them onto the band because they were hugely massive ballads. All right, I get that. But I think that most people, when they start to check out their back catalog, realize, well, this isn't all that they do. They've got other cool songs that, I can sink my teeth into, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Yeah. I remember over here, I think really they made it big with the Walk This Way rehash that they did with Run DMC, because that was a big a monster hit over here. And then they made then obviously all the the string of ballads came out, and that you're right, people just know them for that really. I played Get a Grip last year, and I thought it was a much better album than I remembered it. I thought it wouldn't have worn well because it's an 80s sort of 90s sort of sounding album. But when I played it, I actually thought it was really well produced, and I thought the songs were much better on it than I remembered it. And but after that album, I think they really went downhill. And then I remember buying Just Push Play because it was an Aerosmith album. It was a new album that came out, so I bought it on CD, and I probably played it. I've only ever played it twice, I think. and I would actually set fire to it in the garden and just leave it there as a molten mess, because to be honest, it shouldn't be in their catalog. It's that bad.
Yeah, and it's funny because Nine Lives got a lot of crap too at the time because it was Alanis Morissette's producer. I forget his name. I can picture him, Glenn something. It doesn't matter, but I remember people were really upset with that album. And that has, I think the song Taste of India, yes, it's kind of commercially, but it reminds me of a Led Zeppelin song, like an uber polished Led Zeppelin song. So I like that. I like like the song Pink, which was a radio hit. But just push play. I'm trying to think of what. Jaded was the song. Yeah, that's it. And I remember hearing that for the first time, being like, "What the hell is this?" And at the time, my boss, any song that he didn't like, he would find something that, rhymed with it. So there was a word that he picked out that rhymed with jaded, which has to deal with a bodily function. And he would sing that all the time. And that kind of made it kind of bearable because we would joke around about it. But yeah, that would come on the radio and it would be like, what happened? And even with the blues album, Honking on Bobo, it's got some okay songs on it, but again, they're like blues covers we've heard like a million times, and it's just too overproduced and polished, and it's one of these things where it's like, if I want to hear this, at least in my opinion, I want my blues to have a bite. I want to hear Stevie Ray Vaughan or like Joe Bonamassa live, or something where there's some excitement and fire and some attitude to it, or even Gary Moore, stuff like that. I listen to that; it's just so overly plush and produced. It's like, it's okay. But
again, it's not an album I play very often, really. I do go back to the old catalogue. I mean, I liked Permanent Vacation. I really liked, when they sort of came back after they ditched the drugs and they cleaned themselves up. But I do like all the the early albums. I mean, when they were a proper rock band and they were a little bit loose and they weren't so polished. They were.
There's actually one album before Permanent Vacation. Done in Mirrors is the album where they came back, and their big song off of that
Yeah.
was them remaking a Joe Perry project song.
That's right.
So it was a Joe Perry solo song, Let the Music Do the Talking, which is a kick-ass song.
Yeah.
And they redid it. And it's funny because that's a really good album. But then Permanent Vacation is where they started working with Desmond Child and all the outside writers and stuff. And, and that's when the band kind of went in a different direction. But again, as I was saying before, I don't know of any musician who sets out to not want to make money and make music at the same time. So
yeah. Well, it's certainly been a massive band over the years, and it looks like it's coming to an end quicker than I thought, I suppose. But there you go. They've reached a certain age. They've got a load of ailments. They've all suffered with various things, so it's difficult, really, to go touring at that age, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other thing with that too is they've famously not gotten along with one another. Yeah. I also know from several people that have seen them recently that have said that Joe Perry live has really lost a lot of his ability, where he's really off in a lot of songs. He's out of tune with his solos and just very sloppy. And hearing people say, you know what, it was kind of on the one side of things, it's kind of heartbreaking to see him that way. And on the other side of things, it's annoying to go see someone live and hear them play a solo that they've been playing for 50 years and not being able to nail it and being all over the fretboard, being sloppy and not caring, kind of.
Yeah. I was going to raise one other issue, but I don't know whether we've got time to go over it. It might be something we want to delve into next time. I was going to raise the issue of Uncle Ted, Ted Nugent. I think it's a whole episode in itself. I'm sure it is. So maybe we shouldn't delve into that one straight away now.
Well, there's so many things we can say about that.
Yeah.
I know that some people have kind of reached out to me and said, "Oh, you're reading his stories from Blabbermouth." And my whole thing at the end of the day, whether I agree with him or not, he's done some great music. It's on Blabbermouth, so I'm just repeating what's on Blabbermouth, and it's up to people whether they want to go there and react and say anything about it. Do I agree with everything he says? Again, no. But
yeah, I mean, to me, he's obviously opinionated. We know that, but he's only opinionated like Gene Simmons, but probably goes a little bit further sometimes than Gene and others. Who are quite mouthy. But the couple of questions I've got is one is it ruining his reputation, his actual music reputation? Now, do we actually even talk about his music, or is it just about what he says? And I think sometimes, some people tend to get involved a bit too much in that side of it, and then you forget that they actually, you want to hear them as a musician. And like you say, I've got a few Ted Nugent albums. Some of them are not great, but I've got his early stuff is unbelievable. I mean, he's a real showman and a real rock star and a real metalhead. And the other thing is, I was just wondering, does he actually play live anymore? I've never seen him over here. I presume he still plays the odd gigs in America, but maybe he's wound that down. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think. Brad is saying here, it's not ruining his reputation. He is still packing shows. He has his fans. He's speaking to his fan base. There's still people that are going to see him and believe in what he's discussing. And even Tom Morello, who is, a diehard from the other side of the spectrum, has even said, hey, I still love Ted. I still speak to him. We talk about music. We talk about politics. And he's caught in some shit for being Ted Nugent's friend. And he said, hey, you know what? It's my life. I get to choose who I want to fraternize with.
Yeah.
If I lose fans as a result, well, then it's not it's not. I don't care. So
Yeah.
it's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything, but I love, like you said, I love his early music. He is a very influential player, whether people want to admit it or not. From the late 60s up into the early 80s, his playing was out of this world. Now, like everyone else, the 80s came around and he tried to play ball with what everyone else was doing. So he
Yeah.
followed trends and did different things and, whatever. Again, he's trying to make money. He's trying to make what he does viable. So I got to see him open for Kiss years ago, in 2003 at this point. Wow, almost 20 years ago. Was it 2003? No, it was 2001. What the hell am I talking about? It wasn't 20 years ago. July 3rd, 2001. Yes. Was it? No. I'm all over the place. July 3rd, 2000. I was going to say, I was at the show with my ex-wife. We were done before then. Painful memories. You try to block certain things out of your life. Anyway, gonna wrap the Fireside show up at this point. At the top of the hour, roughly 10 minutes, Charlie Belmore of Kings and Liars, Josta, Corpse Grinder, and Dee Snider's band. Interestingly enough, I've been playing the hell out of Leave a Scar by Dee Snider. I don't know, because in the last week, I haven't listened to the album because I've been listening to it a lot. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this on the back burner for a few weeks because I don't want to kill the album, And it turns out that it's not available on streaming services right now. There's only like 2 tracks that are available, at least for me here. I don't know if it's because of where I'm geographically located, or if it's that it's off of all streaming platforms. So we'll see. That will be a question. But anyway, I want to thank everyone who was in the chat, from Brad to Bill Elam, to the people that popped in on Fireside. We had Chris, we had Woody, who's here week after week. And that is it, folks. Go to MarsAttacksRadio.com and click on any of the links at the top for social media to watch the Signals from Mars live stream live in a few minutes at the top of the hour. Jeremy, thank you for joining me once again. And we will see you guys next week right here on